What up, Herd?
Yeah.
Another collaboration with CBSI and Team Nerd Herd called Comic Lovers. Cover Lovers.
We're still new at this.
I know it's only our 5th episode. My God.
We're so wrapped up in having fun. We forgot.
We don't know the title of the
show. Cover Lovers. There you go. And we're joined again by our friend from CBSI, Mike. How are you doing, Mike?
I am fantastic right now. It's been a long week, and I'm really, really happy to be here to talk about some nerd stuff.
Oh, I feel you. I mean, it's rough when it's like, we have that Monday off, and they cram 5 days into 4. I hate that.
Exactly what it feels. It felt like 2 weeks worth of days in 1 week this week.
Yep. What about you, Big Rob? How are things going in sunny San Diego?
Sunny, but cold for San Diego standards.
Oh, you're breaking my heart.
Oh, dude, I'm freezing at 42 degrees. I'm dying, man. Yeah. I know. No, I'm just chilling like a villain, like always. I just have some Mexican roll tacos with some agua de horchata.
Nice.
Full stomach. So I'm happy. Let's do this, man. Some covers.
Yes. We got some great covers this week. Really great covers this week.
Awesome. All right. But before we get started, we have to give a shout out to our Team Nerd Herd moderators, Uncle Rudy, Something Wong, Daname, etc., and Glenn2K12. Thank you so much for what you guys do with the community and also what you do with the chat. Love you guys. And also our DJ, Beats by Monster. Love it. I mean, the music, the tunes, gotta love it. Make sure to get guys to sub him up. And it looks like we're ready to go. So let's just dive right into this bad boy and start off with the incentives that are coming out this Wednesday, which will be March the 2nd. So here we go. And our first cover is by Jock. It is for Batman, and it is a 1 in 50. Mike, what do you think?
It's interesting. So I usually love Jock and what he does for Batman covers, and there's obviously been some huge ones, Tech 880 and others that are enormous. This will be a sought after cover. And I like that he tries to do different stuff all the time. He likes to do sort of these shocking, memorable things. And this kind of is. I'll give him that. And I dig the concept. It just doesn't hit for me. I don't know. I think maybe it's too plain for me this time around. It's cool. I'd like to see it in person. I'm curious at what it actually looks like in my hand. But I don't think this is worth ratio to me. Unless something's going on in this book that I'm unaware of, I don't see this being a big book. But because every shop orders at least 50 copies of Batman. So, I don't know. It's not great to me. It's okay. It's a cool concept that just didn't quite hit.
Yeah, this to me personally has to be one of the laziest covers I've ever seen in my life. It's just it's a Batman symbol I could draw, and that's saying something because I suck at drawing. The Batman is like little miniature Batman. You can barely see him. There's no real detail to him. This is one of the laziest things I've ever seen. It's really, I think it's trash to be honest. But I would never 1 in 50. It might be pretty shiny foil gimmick going on with it, but it's not worth it. The art's not that good. It's not good. And yeah, Jock, has higher standards for his work. I don't know this was obviously something like, just let me make some quick money here. Try this. This will work.
Yeah, that's what it feels like to me too. I agree.
Yeah. It's don't buy this.
I would agree. And I you know what it does? The background does remind me of like a foil. Maybe they're doing something special, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's very plain. It's too simple for Jock, I think. And again, like we kind of talked about last week with that cover for Aquaman by Jim Lee. It's like we have these guys on pedestals because we've seen so much good, consistent work. That it's something like this. It's just like we're not used to it.
There's an impact usually to a Jock cover. There's a thing, like there's action going on, or there's a feeling of action in the manicness of the covers, and this one just kind of flat. It's flat and boring, and
if it takes out the Batman symbol, I think it'll be a lot better cover, to be honest. It was
just have a little tiny Batman
Little
all there.
tiny
Right?
Batman.
I think that would work. It's a distance shot. It's like a little more, I guess, dramatic.
Yeah.
Now, Batman symbol is it's stupid. It's just dumb. I just like, why would you do that?
Yeah, not a fan.
Well, maybe you're a fan of the next one, which is also a one from Batman 121, which is by Jay Anacleto, and it is a 1 in 25. How do you guys feel about this one?
I absolutely do like this, and I love Jay Anacleto's work. I think we're actually going to talk about a couple of, I think, the most unsung artists right now, and he's one of them. His detail, his line work, really, really unique. There are some elements of this cover I don't love. Batman's head's a little weird and stuff, but overall, I think this cover is much better. I would much rather have this one than the Jock. Again, don't know that I pay $25 for it, but I really love Jay Anacleto's art style. Take a look at some of his early Red Sonja covers. I know I harp on Red Sonja a lot. You can crucify me for it later, but there's just the detail work in some of the textures on the fabrics and things like that are really great. There's some missed opportunity in this cover. I love the background specifically. I like the depth of it. I'm not a huge fan of the Batmobile. It seems like it shouldn't even be there. It kind of looks like a forced element. I think it would have been fine with just the background of the two characters. I also don't particularly love this ghost. Is it Ghost Killer? Is that his name? What's his name?
Ghost Maker, right?
Ghost, whatever that character is. I think
forgot.
That's not a favorite. It's actually what made me stop reading Batman. So I thought it was kind of a lame addition. But at the end of the day, while I won't buy this, this is a much better cover than the 1 in 50. What do you think of it?
Oh man. No, you know what? I also like or love Jay Anacleto as well. I liked him when he was doing like Aria. That work was phenomenal. I loved it. And it was just not only the covers, but the interiors, everything. For whatever reason, I'm not a big fan of this one, just because of the way like the characters look. I mean, I'm looking right now at Batman's leg and his thighs are huge. And then it kind of boils down to like a teeny little calf. Also too, for whatever reason,
in a big package,
right?
His squats are amazing.
I know he
bro.
must be doing some massive squats, but I mean, he's not doing anything for those calves. And then I know I'm going to get harped on for this, but also the bat cod piece. I mean, it's just kind of like in your face.
Yeah.
Oh, the cup.
That's a lot of D right there.
It is.
The ball protector.
Yes.
It's the Batman design for me. That throws it off. I think everything else is fine, but the Batman design is just. It reminds me a lot of that Batman from that one run. It's called Batman and Robin. I think that's the name of the run. It's a more recent run from probably like 5-7 years ago.
Oh,
I forgot exactly what it was called, but it was like Batman and Robin and something going on. But it reminds me a lot of that design, and I hated that design of Batman. It just is very.
So was the Grant Morrison Frank Quietly run?
Yeah, Grant Morrison run. That's right. I don't like the design of Batman in that run. I know the story's good and all that stuff, but the design of the actual Batman, it's not good, in my opinion. But yeah, it's I noticed the cat. Yeah, the thighs, dude. It's just incredible. You can, but the background is awesome. It really looks really good. Even the ghost, whatever his name is, looks pretty good. I do hate his hammer pants, but why we put the car in the background makes no sense, but it's cool. I get it. It's a cool book. It would have been a cool B cover. 125, no.
Agreed.
All right. And next we have Dark Knights of Steel number 5, the 1 in 25 by Ejikure. I hope I'm saying that right.
Ejikure?
I
don't know.
So what are you guys' thoughts?
Rob?
Well, I can't really say nothing bad about this one, honestly. It does look like a 1 in 25. It's really beautiful art. It's really pretty art. The faces, it's interesting how the faces kind of look alike a little bit, but they're pretty girls, right? I guess pretty. It's kind of a formula. It all is kind of similar. The background's awesome. The flowers are beautiful. It's just a great, interesting design of Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn. It's definitely an A, at least in my book.
Art Germ meets Derek Chu on this one. Art Germ on Poison Ivy and Chu on Harley. I actually really like it. I especially like Harley. First of all, I really like Harley covers when she's in her original costume. I'm a little sick of slutty Harley, to be perfectly honest with you. I like
Harley.
Yeah, I like this a lot. I mean, I get it. Margot Robbie's hot, and they made a costume for her that looked that way, and then they sort of like retroactively put Harley in that costume with the colored hair and all that. But I like this better. This is more fun to me. Not that I don't like the Poison Ivy element. She's fine, but the Harley part of it really makes it. Her face is fantastic. Really hard to do an open mouth well without making it look either enormous or ugly or like misshapen or whatever. I think this is great. There's a lot of emotion in it. Cool background, some attention to details. Yeah, this feels like an incentive to me. Again, don't know if I paid $25 for it, but I paid 10 or 15 for it.
I never noticed the belt on Harley. That's different.
Neither.
You know what? This is her. Like, she's actually the jester in this book.
Yeah.
So having her have that, I mean, all these little elements. I mean, it's perfect.
Yeah.
And I love it. I would pay $25 for this book.
It's a great layout too. I'm sick of covers that like that Jock, right? It was a terrible layout. This has a great layout to it. There's all the spaces utilized well. I like that the little Dark Knights of Steel symbols up there and that sort of I don't know if I'd call it empty space, but sort of that negative space up there. Just a really good layout overall. I mean, I'd love to see this without the barcode on the front. But
yeah, that would be nice. All right, just a bad barcode.
This is a hit for me. I like this a lot.
Yep. Yeah, it's a win.
Now, hopefully, we can pronounce his name next time.
Yeah, I'd like to hear somebody say it.
Maybe he likes the Cure. I don't know.
Maybe. And then speaking of Archer, we have Archer for the Sorcerer Supreme, and this is a 1 in 200. Oh, all right, guys, lay it on me.
It's tough, right? 1 in 200. I'm definitely not buying it, but it's a beautiful art. Art Zimmer is always the best. He's always one of the top guys in the industry. Everything he does is gold, pretty much.
Yeah, there are very few misses.
Yeah, very few. I actually have his art on my wall here. That's how much I like him. I'd
love to have that.
No, they're just prints, man. I'm not paying top dollar. But yeah, dude, it's. I don't really personally don't know much about the new character, the new Doctor Strange, but she looks nice. If it's everything is executed correctly, the images on her hand, their hair, the way the clothing drapes around her body, or the wrinkles in her outfit, it's perfectly done. It's Archer. He's just the best.
Yeah, Archer's a star to me too. I mean, and I'm often tough on him on my articles because I hold him to such a high standard, and I would say he's 50-50 on meeting that standard for me. And it's not because I don't like the lower covers, because I often do, but this one's really intricate. There's a lot of great textures here, some really great color. It's a more panned out shot. It's not that like bust up kind of thing that he'd been doing when he kind of phoned some of his covers in. I say phoned in for Archer is still better than 99% of all artists out there. But yeah, this is great. No, there's no way I'm paying $200 or whatever this ends up being, 100, 150, 250, whatever it is. And it's going to be tough for Archer fans. They're going to be pissed. And as a result, I mean, who's going to order 200 copies? 10 stores in the whole country, maybe? I don't really know, but
probably
there's not going to be many copies of this out there. And Archer fans are like Spawn fans and Star Wars fans. They will go nuts to get this book, and I think it's going to probably go up above ratio. I don't know, to me, if I think this is a $200+ book art wise, but it's a fantastic piece of art. It's beautiful.
It is. I agree with all of your statements. I was looking to buying this thing, but I missed FOC.
Well, I knew you were trying to buy this, Alonso. I knew it, man.
Yep. And it's super expensive. I'm like, no. For me, I love it. I want it, but I'm not paying like $300 for this cover.
That's what it's going for
Just
on eBay.
just period. Plus, like too, I mean, if I'm going to pay that much money for this for a cover, I want to be able to look at it, to make sure like the corners are nice, the spine's great.
180.
They're going for about 180. Yeah, 175, 180 right now.
That's still, I need to physically see it,
Yeah.
But it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's really pretty.
I mean, it is gorgeous. I love it. I mean, all the details in it. I love that the hair is kind of like floating. I mean, everything about this cover is just it's just Archer.
Yeah, this is what Archer does, man.
And then moving on to one of my personal favorites, Rose Besh, and this is the Virgin variant for the Trial of the Amazons, and it's the 1 in 100. So before Mike and Rob like talk about it, I want to talk about it. I want to let you guys know that I did buy this variant. I am getting it in the mail as part of like a whole incentive pack for the Trial of Amazons. I love this cover, but I am also a little biased because I'm a huge Rose Besh fan. But I dig it. I love that you put all of this like anime into it. I love the flowers around and in the background. I like how it feels like this is essentially like graffiti. Like this is like art that's like you would see on like a wall as you're walking down some sort of like street in downtown LA or whatever. I mean, it looks amazing to me. So I can totally appreciate it. I like the spray paint that it looks like it's kind of dripping from her hair. I think it's beautiful. All right, Mike, go ahead.
Mike. You go ahead, Mike. That's all you.
First of all, I hate the floating head thing. Let's put that aside because it doesn't matter who does it. I despise it. This is to me, man, I don't even know where to start. I think it's a mess. I really think it's a mess. I think it's going to be really expensive because it's Rose Besh and she's hot and it's a 1 in 100 and it's Wonder Woman. And I get all the reasons why I am going to be wrong on this book. But man, I think it's ugly. I mean, the face is all effed up and I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, Alonzo. I really do. And from a street art standpoint, it does have a good street art feel to it. You're right. I hadn't really looked at it in that light per se. And maybe I'll come around on it a little bit as a result of thinking of it that way. But I just don't think this is good. And look, I've been watching her art really closely. I want to like her stuff. I want to understand why everybody likes it so much. It was the same thing with Peach Momoko. And I featured a Peach book this past week because I really like that X23. And so I'm completely willing to like change my tune on an artist. But so far, Besh just has not done it for me. It's just messy, simple, phoned in shit that I really don't think is good. When you see the line work on these things, like when they put those black and white variants out, there's like no work involved in these. And that doesn't equate to talent to me. I think this is like a vomited bunch of color on a cover. I think it's terrible. I really think it's awful trash, in my opinion. I don't get it.
Awful trash. Okay. Big Rob.
I'm really sorry. I know I offended you because you probably spent some decent money on this book, and I'm not trying
crying.
to do
I'm dying a little bit inside because of what you said, Mike.
I'm not going to kill it much as Mike did there, but this is going to be a hot book. This is going to be fire. I personally, it's not for me. I wouldn't pay what they're asking for it. I had a hard time finding a current sale for like actual live copy you could buy. There's all just the variants, right? Not just the regular B covers, but because there's the same art but with different versions, right? There's like a trade dress version of this as well. But the last one I see sold for $150 or best offer accepted on $150. But I get it when people why might think this be popular. I see the street art aspect of it, the whole like just the spray can kind of vibe to it. I see her execution and what she was trying to do, but it's just not for me. Something about it, it's just it is kind of ugly in a way, but it's weird. It's a really weird book. It's almost like beautiful ugly, right? It's pretty, but it's ugly at the same time.
And you know, I want to say this to anyone who reads anything that I've ever written. I don't know why you do, but thank you if you do. I love Bill Sienkiewicz. Bill Sienkiewicz is like well known for his essentially ugly covers that are beautiful, right? I mean, there's a lot of those when he comes right down. A lot of his covers are a big mess. I own a bunch of his art that looks like a big mess, and so this is a huge case of art is subjective, right?
Yes.
And I think maybe I can give Rose Besch her due in that way. Then I can say her art is so polarizing that there must be something important about it. There's something cool about it, right? It's like Picasso, right? Not everybody likes Picasso. Not everybody likes Van Gogh.
Yeah.
Because they're very weird and polarizing, and you either really like it or you really don't.
Yeah.
Her art just doesn't hit for me, but I get why it hits for other people. Like I'm not, Alonzo, I don't judge you for buying this. If this does this for you, and this does something to your heart, to your soul when you see it, then awesome. That's what all of this stuff should be.
My soul.
I know I'm getting a little cheesy here, but I mean, at the end of the day, isn't that what art's supposed to do? It's supposed to move you, right?
Yeah.
So if this piece moves you, that's awesome, and she's done her job. It doesn't move me, I'll pick a different weird artist to move me instead.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is, and that's cool. And she's sticking to her guns. I mean, this is her style. It's her style. It is unmistakable. It is only her. No one else looks like this.
Yeah.
So I give her that, and that's awesome. This is just not for me. Listings right now are clearly proving me wrong. There's 2 listings right now: $199.08 in $10 shipping, and $240.
Oh, you found okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I mean, they're high. They're like double ratio. So this is probably going to go up from there, not down. I could expect to see this be a $300 cover by the end of the week.
Yeah, easy. This is going to be fire, dude. This is going to people are going to be asking for this book.
Doesn't mean I want it.
Not my. Yeah, it's like art. It's like the art is going to be like, what's your background? How did you grow up? What did you like when you were little? It's like totally going to affect your decision and what is art to you. So. Yep.
I also was never an anime guy, so her anime elements that she has in here, they don't do anything for me. They give me no nostalgia. But I know that 90s kids probably have huge nostalgia for anime. And I get why anybody essentially age 35 or lower would want a book that looks like this.
Yeah.
And I would understand why anyone 45 and older wouldn't, just for all those same reasons. I don't know.
But it's art. It's definitely art.
It is. It's definitely art, and it's definitely, stylized and polarizing and shocking in some way. And that's I'll give her credit for that. There's no doubt about it. I'll flip the shit out of this if I got a copy.
It's different from Wonder Woman too, which makes it, at least I give her props for that too. It's different. It's not your typical Wonder Woman Hughes or Cho look.
Yeah,
it's different.
It's like that Amikami Girls. Remember that variant, that one in whatever the hell that is, that's super, super rare, very anime looking. That book's worth a small fortune too, and it's very weird for Wonder Woman to have a cover like that. And this appeals, I would imagine, to the same crowd.
You know what? I like what both of you guys had to say about this. I mean, I like how, again, basically, art is subjective. And you know what? I love everything you had to say, and we're on the same page with that in mind, of art being subjective. But yeah, I'm a fan. I know you guys aren't. But yeah.
I'm clearly in the minority, and I fully embrace the fact that I'm wrong on her covers all the time.
No, that's
great.
From
a value standpoint, I mean.
Yep.
Different opinions. Doesn't matter, man.
Yep. Doesn't mean I like the art anymore, just because it's worth a lot.
All right. And then we have Alien, and it's a 1 in 25 by Jung Yen Yoon. What do you guys' thoughts on this one? I mean,
so you originally had the ugly stamp on this, and we took it off because
I did.
It wasn't ugly, but it's definitely got like this static feel to it. Nothing is actually happening in this cover. I mean, you know what I mean? There should be so much visceral impact to this image. There's a lot of work. There's clearly talent here. There's a lot of cool color and depth and all those kinds of things. I can give it all of that, and yet it just feels blah to me. Like nothing's actually going on. It just has that sort of like, I don't know, that haze, that sort of boring. It's a tonal thing. I don't know.
No, I mean, for me, I agree. I mean, she doesn't even look like she's scared.
Right.
You know, if an alien was there, I mean, I'd be shitting bricks. You know, exactly. I love it. But she looks like she's calm. Like even Ripley in those movies was scared.
Yep.
And she was such a badass.
Yep.
I mean, there's no emotion here.
No, exactly.
Which is why I felt like this is just kind of like ugly, because I feel like there's nothing going on. I mean, it's just kind of blah.
It also feels overworked to me. It feels like, this, Yoon should have maybe stopped one step before. There's a lot of artists that do this, and it really drives me nuts. Like, I feel like there's you go too far with a piece of art and you ruin it. And I feel like this has that. So sometimes it's the one criticism I sometimes have of Lee Bermejo, where I'll love a Lee Bermejo piece, but I'll be like, man, you went like one step too far and kind of overworked it a little bit. And I think that overworking gives it that emotionless sort of static feel. But maybe I don't know. I can't put my finger on it, but you're right. There is just no emotion in this, and there should be a ton.
Well, the reason I picked this cover, because what I appreciate about this cover is the technical ability that Yoon had on this. Because if you really look at it, what he did, it was basically a bunch of composite images. So he looks like he probably draw the leaves first, and it was on top, and the lady, and then layered that under the leaves, then the tree, then the alien on the rock, and then the trees, and then the sky on the moon. So it's just a bunch of composite images layered on top of each other.
Yep.
So I appreciate the technical ability he did here to present all that in one solid image and give it that which that's what gives it the depth and make it all nice and kind of smooth and makes it like it's there. But I do see your criticisms on it. Like it's very static. It's just the image, her reaction. It's not really corresponding with the image of the alien behind her. Maybe there's a reason for that. Maybe she knows something. Who knows?
They're friends. They're playing hide and seek.
Maybe she's more badass, nothing to fear about an alien. So who knows? I don't read the book personally, but I do appreciate the execution of the
like Abigail and Swamp Thing kind of a thing.
Yeah, she's chilling, putting her makeup on. No worries. It's a green guy behind me. It's just a fucking alien. No worries. But yeah, I do appreciate the execution. It's just I see all the criticisms in it. It's I wouldn't pay $25, but I appreciate what he did here.
And I agree. There's definitely talent there. There's a lot of talent. I mean, I could never do this. There's no doubt about that. And it's not that means anything, but I mean, there's a lot of intricate work that happened here, and it's too bad that at the end of the day, with all that work, it still doesn't quite hit.
Yeah, it doesn't grab you.
Right.
Yeah, missing something.
Yep.
Agreed. All right. And then moving on to something that isn't missing anything, we have Stephanie Hans for Black Panther, and it is a 1 in 25. Big Rob, we kind of talked about this. I want to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, so I love this cover. This cover is awesome. It's an A+, a home run. This is going through the roof. I know it. This might even pass that Stephanie Hans book in price level, and I think it's a lower ratio book. But it is the one thing that's weird to me. It's supposed to be Shuri, right? An African princess. But I totally get a Native American vibe in this book. What I see is Native American imagery. The black crows, the almost the coloring of the dress. That might be something in the African tribes use in Africa, but when I see this image, I think of Native Americans in North America. So it's just weird imagery for me to see her in this kind of imagery, because the black rose to me, that's a symbolism of like mystic magic in Native America. But it's cool, it's awesome. The execution is brilliant, the coloring, the pencils, all that. She is another A+ in this.
Yeah,
I want this book.
And so do I. I mean, talk about in relation to the cover we just saw before, the alien one.
Yeah.
There's great emotion here. There's all kinds of feeling in this. It pops. There's great depth, wonderful use of color and not color. She just has an eye for how to do the layout on when she really does it. She's got a couple of duds here and there, but for the most part, her stuff is incredible. And this is top notch Hans to me. You're right. I definitely see what you're saying, Rob. I mean, that now does feel like a very Native American kind of thing. Although I think that there's some, I don't know enough about either culture to pretend to talk about them, but you're right. There is definitely some of that going on in there, but I still think it's gorgeous. I think it still feels right for a Black Panther book. I think it's weird, right? If I'm trying to think of the movie and I'm thinking of the aesthetic that the costume designers used in that, as opposed to the comic books over the years, there's been a little bit of both. Like I'm thinking of, I'm trying to remember. It's like a Marvel Age cover with Black Panther on the cover that also always felt very Native American to me.
Mm.
It's also a cool cover. I forget who did it. It's older. It's from back in the 80s or 90s.
Because if you take off the Black Panther logo for me, I don't know this is Black Panther. I think this is a Native American comic.
Oh, it might be like Voices or something like that.
Yeah,
Marvel Voices. Yeah,
Marvel Voices.
Yeah, that's true. Good. That's a good point. Yeah. All I mean is that I've seen that crossover happen on this title before through the years. I think there's some close lineages with the design aesthetic that's been chosen for these characters. I don't know if I agree that they should have been chosen. That's above my pay grade. But still, I think I don't think it's so out of line. I don't know if it's Hans's fault necessarily as much as it may be the fault of previous designers of some of the aesthetic of Black Panther and the costumes, either in live action and or in the comics. But either way, this is a gorgeous cover. It would be worth every penny of $25 to me if I could find one. I'm sure I won't. But if I could, I would run out of the store for $25 for this.
I think it's like $125 on eBay.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
I love it for all the exact same reasons you guys love it. I think it's great. And yeah, thank you for pointing that out about that. Now looking at what that you mentioned, it's Native American. I'm like, yeah, this look like it, this person's the Native American. But yeah, I nevertheless, I mean, it's a fantastic cover, well worth the 1 in 25 premium you're going to pay for it. I'm all over it.
Cheapest one's $170 right now, actually.
Woo!
So save up.
Yep. All right. And then we have Star Wars: The High Republic, Eye of the Storm #2, 1 in 25 by Miko Sane. What do you guys think, Star Wars guys? Mike, Rob.
Go ahead, Mike.
Rob, do you know, is this a first cover for this character?
No, it's not.
Okay. Because I would say that would push it over the top.
I think it's Adventures 4 or 3 or 1 in 10.
Oh yeah. You're right. Cool. This will be, people will want it. Star Wars fans are crazy, and it will be. It'll definitely be over ratio. I don't know what it's going for right now. I wouldn't be surprised if this is a $50 book by the end of the week. Because they all seem to do that. I am not huge on the whole High Republic thing at all right now. It has actually lost me. I get that they're trying to lay the groundwork for what will probably be a film or TV event of some sort eventually. And so as a result, I think people are gobbling up all of this stuff in the hopes that those books will be hot later on down the road. And I get that. I'm doing it too. I'm sure I'm not alone. And I think this one might be one of those books that people will hoard as a crisp single character cover that's well done. It is a good cover. There's some really good elements. It feels like a 1 in 25 to me. This has that feeling to me, and I think I would pick this up at ratio.
Holy smoke! Somebody paid $90 for this.
Yeah, I don't doubt it. I mean, it feels like a $50 book to me.
Wow.
I'm just as a Star Wars collector and having collected basically all of the variants, 1 in 25s and 1 in 50s of most of these books, or 1 in 10s. I think that's where it'll settle, but I might be wrong, especially if something else happens in this book. Seems like every week there's a new hot Star Wars book and a new hot Star Wars character that's on hot
every
lists. every week, one or two. And this could be that book. I don't really know what's in the guts of this thing. I haven't got my hands on a copy yet, so we'll see. I still flip through them, even though I've kind of stopped reading. A little overwhelmed with kids books, adult books, 2-3 comic series.
A lot of shit.
It
a
is
lot of stuff at once, and I can't keep up with it. A lot of the writing is good, and a lot of it's not good, and it's tough to sift through both. So from a readership standpoint, I have lost my way, as it were. But this is a cool cover. It's well done, well executed. Like I said, a single crisp image of one character. I think it'll be pretty hot.
So a little piece of cornbread. It is official. They are in production for a TV show. They verified. Yeah, so they did verify. So I put this on our Team Nerd Herd Facebook. They interview one of the main guys who runs the High Republic project, and he said that they're in production for a TV show and also video game. Video game is almost done. I think done ready, but the show's in production and possible film as well.
Okay, that makes sense. That was probably always the plan. Let's face it.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think the cover is great. This character is cool design. It's well executed by Suyan. It's nice details, colors. The background looks great. Even the trade base looks right for this cover. The gun's interesting. That what a weapon he's holding is a weird shape to it, but it's like
I don't even know if it's like a gun. I mean, it looks like
a saber.
Yeah,
or a bow or something like that. Yeah. So yeah, it looks good. It looks good. Am I going to buy it? Probably. I'm a fucking idiot. I buy all this shit, but it's
I'm probably going to buy it too.
Yeah. It's probably my pull. So yeah, I recommend it. I'm just buying this shit up like candy. It's more the merrier for me. So I love it. The art's great, and you're speaking to the choir. What do you think, Alonso?
No, I think it's very cool. I have no idea who this character is, but by looking at this art, I'm like, dude, this character is such a badass. I mean, I like he's just ready to go. I mean, there's a lot. I feel like he's ready to take somebody on. I love how you have the fur on his shoulder, and it's how there's some movement there. I even like some of the sheen on the leather that he's having. I mean, it's great. I mean, this is an awesome cover. I'm curious now about this character.
Yeah.
It makes me want to know more about this guy. I mean, it's great.
Maybe Mark Brooks should learn some reflection lessons here for his covers.
All right. Then moving on to another one of Big Rob's favorite topics. It's Star Trek Discovery. It's a retailer incentive. And this is IDW, so it's a 1 in 10. And Big Rob always says, buy the 1 in 10s from IDW. And it's drawn by Aaron Harvey. So Big Rob, take it away.
Okay, so I am watching the show Discovery. I'm a little behind. I believe I'm in season 3. So far, so good. The show's awesome. It's, from what I understand, season 4 is awesome, and what I missed so far, season 3 is great. The more you give it room, it gets better. But for this, and I guess this is a little side story of just give you a little more details on the show. This comic book. This is the 1 in 10. The art is. It's something about it just attracted me. Besides it being a Star Trek, I'm a Star Trek fan. Just the color. I love the color orange and blue together. That always attracts my eyes. It's like the Florida Gator uniform. I don't really care for the team, but I love the color scheme of it. Orange and blue always stands out to me, and I love that color scheme. I think the cat looks cool. Just looking at this is it's like a display, digital display where they see tactical information on it, but you also see outside the spaceship. It's like the window out the bridge. So it's just looking cool. The cat just staring out to it and trying to see. He's looking at some sort of a supernova or some sort of weird planet going on. But yeah, it's awesome, dude. And like I said, 1 in 10s just are hard to come by, especially with Star Trek books. If you see a 1 in 10, I recommend grabbing it because you'll never see it again.
Yeah, that is true. Those 1 in 10s, they pop up once and then you never see them again. Is this Chewie from Captain Marvel or Goose or whatever they call that cat?
Okay. Here's the thing. If take this away and just say, okay, what if this was an Alien cover?
I bet you'll be
You
more
know,
popular.
with the cat with Ripley, right? I mean, that's
Yeah.
that's what I see when I see this. I mean, it's a great
Yeah.
cover, but that's what I see. I don't see it as a Star Trek cover. I see it as an Alien cover.
If I remember correctly, there is a cat on the show on the ship, so that's probably why the cat's on the cover. It's just a great, cool little perspective on the animal looking in this. The craziness he's in space with all these people traveling through the universe and going through all these crazy adventures, right? In the 32nd century. So
I also really like this show. I'm also behind. I'm at the beginning of season 3 as well. It's just
oh
one of those things that kind of like fell off because so many other things came out. And yeah, I mean, Star Trek covers don't have the track record of really doing a whole lot on the market, but Star Trek fans are pretty rabid about their stuff, and I think that this will always be wanted by fans. And I don't know if it'll ever be worth more than $10 or $15, but it's cool. It has a good feeling to it. I'm not really sure how to put that into words, but it just feels nice. That's a terrible using the word nice is a terrible descriptor, but at the end of the day,
yeah, it's great.
I do like it. It gives me a good feeling. It feels sort of nostalgic in a way. It kind of has that old kind of next gen-y kind of feel to it. I dig it. I would pick it up for $10. I don't think I'd pay more than that. But it's a fun cover, a cool little perspective, little snapshot to the world.
All right. And then moving on to, I guess, Loaded Bible, 1 in 25, and it's by Giuseppe Camuncoli. Camacoli?
Camuncoli? I don't know exactly how you say it.
So yeah, so Big Rob, why don't you take this one away?
All right, So basically, this is a playoff or an homage or a parody of the Shroud of Turin. If you know what the Shroud of Turin is the history on this is it's a shroud that was placed on Jesus' body when he was dead, and his body was so full of energy and radiation, whatever. It burned through the shroud, and it created this like burn look, perfect image of his body throughout the whole shroud, and it's basically prayed to and revered by all Catholics or Christians in some church in overseas. That's the shroud of Jesus. That's where Jesus' image is presented to the shroud, and so basically this is the same thing, but there's a twist to it on this version. He's not in the actual real shroud. He doesn't have like a cloak and armor. I don't know what's the deal with this book, right? That's obviously there's some more craziness, action movie, something going on with Jesus here, where he's wearing armor. But that's what it is. That's the Shroud of Turin, and I think that's interesting for a comic book cover. That definitely caught my eye. I could see why people think it's ugly, just because that's what's supposed to be. It's an ugly burned image on a shroud, but it's Jesus from what I want to understand. So that's why I think it's interesting.
Yeah, those elements, those that sort of striped, almost like what do you call those, like ink blot looking things along the side there?
Yeah,
those are on the shroud. The shroud has been in Turin, Italy for I don't know since like the 1500s or something like that. Kept in the cathedral there, and yeah, it is definitely supposed to be that. So I get the concept. Yeah, as a comic book cover, I don't know if it does it. I mean, I'm not really sure how serious this is supposed to be inside. Like you said, there's like armor and weird elements going on here. So I don't know what direction this particular story is going to take, but
yeah.
But I like the concept. It's a lot like the Jock, right? The concept was cool in theory, but in practice, maybe it didn't work out so well, and the end result is kind of an ugly cover. It'll probably be tough to get. I mean, I don't know how many people will be ordering 25 copies of this, but it is an Image book, so I think it's Image, right? Yeah, it's an Image book, so people have been hot on Image #1s for a long time, so maybe your shop will get one. might be worth grabbing and holding back if you can get it for below ratio.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I mean, there was that. What was that? Oh man, I'm blanking on it now. Knights of the Golden Sun book. Remember how good that thing did? And that was a very religious related kind of thing, and that book went crazy. So if this is anything like that one, this one could be a big money book at some point.
I don't know. I agree with Mike, Big Rob. I don't know. For me, it's just it's trash. I just don't like it. I don't like the imagery, at all. I just feel like it's just not there for me. I don't know how to put it in words, but I'm not feeling this book for whatever reason. It's just kind of putting me off.
It's basically an X-ray on the cover. That's what it is.
Yeah. It should have just been the face. It should have just been the face. I think that's what bothers me.
But it's the Shroud of Turin. That's what it is. It's an ugly image of Jesus. It's what it is. It's supposed to be ugly. It's in a way.
Well, there you go. It is ugly.
I'm afraid to say something that's going to piss off Catholics, but I am a Catholic, so
there you go.
But at the end of the day, like, it still just doesn't do it. It's still ugly, too ugly for a comic cover. Again, I like the concept. That's as far as it goes. I think it'll be a hot book because people will go crazy for an image number one, no matter what it is.
Yeah, if the media got a hold of this and actually presented it to the public, and like Christians found out about this might be something be sought after.
Controversial, yeah.
Yeah.
I still wouldn't buy it. All right. Moving on to store exclusives. Now, these are the exclusives that have been announced by a number of online retailers that are made available for this particular week. We have this World's Finest #1 by Nathan Zerdy, which you can find at Anti-Hero Gallery. Mike, let's hear your thoughts.
It's fun and stupid, and I love that I hate it, or I hate that I love it. I don't want it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to buy it because it is just sort of everything I hate about pop culture over the last 20 years. But I can see people thinking that this is fun enough to buy the thing. This is way below the standard of what Zerdy normally does. If you've seen his other work, he's got some great stuff. This is not among them, but there's something about it. I don't know. Maybe I'm just like a sucker for stupid, like slutty covers. I don't know what it is. I mean, I'm going to throw myself under the bus on that one, but it's got that kind of like Bratz feel. If you remember those toys from like the 90s and 2000s. But,
oh my God.
It's dumb as hell. It's dumb as hell, but it is fun. And from a comic book perspective, the cartooniness of it is maybe enticing to some people. I mean, I don't think you could pay me to load my long box with it, but it's kind of fun to me.
To me, this represents like the female version of douchebags. When I see this image, that's the total douchebag female from back in the early 2000s, like almost like Jersey Shore kind of vibe to it.
Yeah.
It's interesting, right? Because I can see why it's ugly. I understand why it's ugly, but in a way, it's beautiful as well. It's just like the Besh. I could see it. It's just something about it. It has some sort of charisma to it, but it's just so douchey. It's hard to get past it. But
I like that word, charisma. You're right. That's a good word for it. I like that.
Yeah, it's just.
I actually like it better with the trade dress. Believe it or not.
Yeah, it's better with the trade dress. I agree. And the image is small.
I hate this cover. I hate it. I think it's trash. I mean, look, she's wearing. She has.
It's supposed to be trash. It's like I think that was the attempt to be trash, almost.
But it's like, oh my God, like, this is just horrible. I mean, look at it. Even the concept. She's holding a boombox, and she has a Walkman with headphones.
Douchebag.
Yeah.
Hey, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, oh my God, this is just horrible. I saw this and I was like, oh God, I hope no one paid money for this.
I hate bell bottoms too.
Oh,
The worst part about it is the words on their shirts. Like they're not lined up
So
correctly with what would happen with boobs.
hey,
That's not the way that
Sup,
would.
hey,
Nay?
That's not the way that would work.
Oh
Oh,
my god.
yeah, it is really super douchey. It is very Jersey Shore, but yeah, there is some sort of life to it that's kind of. I could see why someone might buy it. It would not be me, but yeah.
All right. And then moving on to Something's Killing the Children, number 21 from Antihero Gallery by John Jang. I dig this cover. Like totally dig this cover. Um, it's it's crazy and it's scary. I mean,
Yep.
I love it. I mean, there's so much. I mean, the detail on the back for the monster. I like how the mask is torn to shreds. I mean, I dig it.
Rob?
well, I'm taking the opposite way. I think it's ugly.
Oh,
I typically love John Jiang. I love his cover. I mean, and I understand this is the design of the creature, but the way he represented to me, I don't know. I can't tell what the hell I'm looking at, to be honest. It's like a big black blob. I see some red eyes, kind of. It looks like he has a mustache. I see like just he's dripped in like oil, crude oil, and I could see the mask. He's destroying the mask, but it's just I wouldn't pay no $50 for this. I'd be like $5 tops, to be honest.
Yeah, that's always the thing, right? It's the price point of these store exclusive sets now is crazy. First of all, the red one, no, because that's not. I mean, when I think of the monsters, I can't remember the damn name of the monsters in this series. It's driving me nuts. But I really like it. I'm with you, Alonzo. I think I think the detail in it's incredible. I'm sick of seeing the same Erica Slaughter stance on all these freaking covers. And so I'm really happy to see a different concept for once on this. There's a ton of detail. There's a lot of great textures. I like that it's sort of a close-up look at the monster. It does take a second to figure out what the hell's going on in it, which may be a bad sign. I don't really know, but I actually like it. I really like the one on the left. I'm not a huge fan of the one on the right. So I'd be upset if I had to buy the set in order to get that one. But I have a feeling the one on the right is probably the one that you have to buy the set for. I could probably buy the one on the left by itself.
yep.
There are so many freaking exclusives for this book
21, yeah, it's crazy.
Yep.
that they're all going to be worthless. So if you're looking at it from a spec perspective, skip them all. Find that ash can from last week if you really want one. But otherwise, I do like this cover. I think I like Zhang's work in general. I like this cover. I think this is a good representation of his talent, especially from a textural standpoint. And I like the elements in it. I like that it's different. I like that it's not just Erica again holding up a big fucking machete or a chainsaw or whatever she has today.
All right. And then moving on to our next exclusive. This is Harley Quinn number 13 from East Side Comics, KRS Comics by Will Jack. And it's LE 3000 for the trade dress and 1500 for the minimal trade dress. What are your guys' thoughts?
Well, this is obviously a real model, right? He had to get an inspiration from some real person because this is.
I mean, the face looks like Margot Robbie, right?
It's kind of, but I swear I've seen that face before, like in the model. It's like it's beautiful. It's a great cover. It looks like a picture, to be honest. There's like a real person there on the book, so it's an A for me.
It's an A for me too, and for a lot of the same reasons. It actually has personality. And a lot of these very sort of digital feeling covers are lacking in that personality, especially in the faces. I like the depth of it. It has that sort of animation layered feeling to it because of that blur in the background. It gives a lot of good depth. Again, I actually really like the trade dress on this one. Although I do like the set. I really like this cover, and I generally do not like digital looking covers. That's usually what I kind of MF those covers, but this one, I really like this one. I think this is really good because of the personality that comes forward, because of what Rob said. It looks like a real person. I mean, it's like photo level. It's good.
I liked it so much, I bought it. So there you go.
Cool.
It's your slutty Harley Quinn too, Mike.
I know. Well, it's half and half, right? It's like part of the old costume, like torn up.
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
And you're right overall for the character. But look, at the end of the day, while I don't really read Harley stuff, there's been so many bad Harley books over the years. It's been a tough read for those that read and like the character. So if I'm just pulling back and not really worrying about which version of Harley we're looking at here, it's still a beautiful cover. No matter who the character is on it, it's just really well executed.
All right, and then this one right here, Clayton Crane from Black Flag Comics. Trade dress is limited to 1,500, and the Virgin is 850. What are your thoughts on this Ghost Rider #1 variant by Clayton Crane?
I love Crane's work in general, especially when it's the sort of the monster side of things, when he's doing like Venom and Ghost Rider and things like that. This cover's a little busy for me. There's so much going on that I think it takes away a lot of the depth. The colors are really similar throughout, which make it very difficult to discern exactly what I'm looking at. But there's a lot of really great work into this cover. And from an artistic standpoint, it's fantastic. I like it overall, but I think that there could have been a little bit more separation between the image of him in the bike and the background. I'm not really sure how one executes such a thing, but in this case, I do like it. In this particular case, I like the Virgin better than the trade dress one. But yeah, it's okay to me. And it's a slightly more limited thing from a Marvel book, which I'm assuming means that someone's just going to hoard 1,500 copies somewhere, and it's going to be like that Warren Lau Wonder Woman cover that all of a sudden popped back up on Black Flag's site this week for $200, which I really can't stand. But yeah, it's a good cover. I don't think it's a great
cover. I hate the trade dress #1. That ruins the image for me personally.
Yep.
The Virgin is the way to go for sure on this book. I love I understand it's really busy, but I love the detail. I do love the detail and the work he put into it. But the Ghost Rider is a no-go to me. Something about the design of the Ghost Rider he created is just too plain. I don't like the flame style. Even the outfit, the type of leather outfit he's wearing, it's not my Ghost Rider. The bike design is just not. It looks very toy-like, modern $10 toy at Target. That's what it looks like to me. That Ghost Rider, not a premium format from Sideshow. Ghost Rider.
Wow,
So
I like that. I like that analogy.
Good analogy. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, but the background, that is, I think, I understand it's really, really, really busy, but I appreciate the busyness because it's just so much crazy detail to it, and you could totally see the color in every little piece in it. The lighting is perfect for this in this book, but the Ghost Rider it's cheap looking.
I love it. I bought it, so there you go.
But you buy all the store exclusives.
I don't. I'm very picky. I mean, I have to like the art.
You gotta watch our mail.
If I don't like it, it's a pass.
You gotta watch our mail call, Mike, because he has store exclusive after store exclusive.
Oh, please! You know what? I will show you. You guys know it's. Yes, there's store exclusives, but there's not a whole lot of them. Okay.
Be quiet.
All right. And we have this one right here from David Nakayama, Unknown Comics. We have a limited edition of 3,000 for the trade dress and 1,000 for the Virgin variant. Mike, you're already shaking your head. Talk to me.
Yeah, this was borderline. Put the ugly stick on this one. This is for Nakayama. This is trash. This is among his worst covers ever. I stick to women. I don't know. Stick to negative space variants. He's super talented. He's a great dude. He is really, really a great artist. He's got some of my favorite covers over the last 5 years. There's no doubt about that. This honestly is among, if not his worst work. This is really not good from him. I don't know what it is about it exactly. If I look closely, just everything kind of again looks really static and with no real emotion to it. There's like the feigned motion going on with really no motion. Everything looks just like too. I don't know. It looks too. I can't even put the word to it. There's just nothing to it that does it for me. There's a lot of work in it, and there's some cool elements here and there, but overall, it just feels phoned into me. I don't know why.
Well, number one, he's doing squats. Look at those thighs, dude.
Yeah.
He's filling in those jeans, dude. Yeah, he mad thighs. Maybe it's definitely the background. The background just kills it somehow. It's just the plain blackness does not do well for this Ghost Rider. I actually would like to see this Ghost Rider on the last cover, and maybe switch Ghost Riders. It might have been done. It might have been a better situation for the last book and this book if we switch Ghost Riders.
Then we'd have one perfect book.
Yeah, one perfect book. There you go. But I could see it's very simple. The detail on the Ghost Rider itself, there's no detail. It's just very. I feel like he kind of almost. I know what David does, and it kind of feels like he phoned it in a little bit.
Yeah.
I hate saying that because I love the guy. He's awesome, but yeah, it's a vibe I get from this. Maybe it wasn't intentional, but that's what the vibe I get from it. It's the background is just too plain. It's just I know that's his thing with other stuff he does, but maybe a different color would have helped.
I just thought about what it is about the covers that I like from him. They have a fluidity to them. There's a flow to all of his work, his line work, and this has none of that. This doesn't even if you didn't have the DNA on there, I wouldn't even know it was him. I would never have given him credit for this cover. It doesn't feel like a Nakayama cover to me. We're about to see one that absolutely does in a couple of seconds. And so you'll get a nice sort of juxtaposition of the two. And this just doesn't feel like his work. This feels like he had a buddy do it and he put his name on it.
I agree with you guys. You know what? I think what's missing for me is his costume is too clean.
Yeah. There's no detail.
Yeah, I mean, it's just there's nothing wrong with his costume, but it's Ghost Rider, and he's always like emitting flames. I mean, there should be some battle damage. There should be some rips and tears,
holes.
Yeah, but you don't see that. It's like he just came out, like, Macy's, and it's just like, oh, look at me,
brand new jeans, brand new, man.
That's right. That's right.
All made out of Teflon.
I think that's what it is. But as Mike alluded to, here we go. Another David Nakayama cover of Storm. So this is, I think, what we know David Nakayama DNA to do. I mean, this is a fantastic cover.
Yep. This is him. This is what I like about his work. This has all that fluidity and motion to it that I want it to have. It's got great depth. It's got great lines. He does the character justice. I love the white on white. He's not just doing the negative space thing anymore. There's this outline going on here. So, he's kind of moved away from that, which is good. He's not overdoing that whole concept. Really hard to do white on white stuff, white hair, white costume, white background, which in the case of Storm is great against her darker skin, which is really cool. That pops. So I'm drawn to her face and her hand right away. This is what I expect from Nakayama. I would buy this one. I would never buy the Ghost Rider.
It's almost perfect, but there's something I can't get by. It's the lips. It looks like he had the collagen thing inserted into her lips. You know what girls do that with the what's it called? Was it not a lipo?
Botox.
Yeah, I swear she got Botox on her lips. That's what it looks like. But the art is awesome. The line work, the design, the fluidity he mentioned before, and the blank background works somehow. Yep. But it's just man, the lips. It's a little too much for me.
I love the lips, actually.
I do too.
I love the lips.
I do too.
Botox.
Yeah. And I like the butt. I like the butt. I like everything about this picture right here.
See, I like the boobs, and because before everyone laughs at me, the foreshortened perspective on two breasts they're often like unbalanced, right? And they look weird. Like one looks too small, and he got him right on this one, and often does. So I mean, again, if we're being, we're talking about a skin tight suit here, we're obviously gonna be talking about body parts a little bit. But I mean, if we're talking about from an artistic standpoint, from a figural understanding, he's got the perspectives right on this stuff, and it hits. Yeah, the butt's nice too.
The
Big butt.
hair is awesome too.
The hair is incredible. The hair is probably, honestly, the best element of the whole cover, if we're being honest.
It's still available at Unknown. And with Unknown, you can actually buy the Virgin or the trade dress. I mean, you have your choice, or you can buy the set. And with Unknown, they also have a special that some of them you buy two, you get the third one free.
I definitely go with the Virgin on this one. There's too much trade dress on that.
You know what? The trade dress doesn't take away from it. I'm okay with it.
Botox.
Too many symbols down there to me. But
I can see that. All right, and this one just in from Comics Elite from Marco Mastrazzo, and we have Hulk.
Love it. Sorry.
And
go ahead.
No, go ahead, Mike. Go. You love it. Go ahead, man. Go ahead, Mike.
Sorry, excited.
I don't mean to jump on you. I'm excited. This is the other artist I was alluding to earlier in the show. Another unsung artist who has been crushing Vampirella covers. If you haven't been paying attention, really, really sort of manic style, like line work style, lots of emotion, lots of impact. This is a great perspective, really great Hulk. Lots of like, well, I get emotion. Sorry to use that word again. Like both versions. I like the trade dress and the Virgin on this one. Cool, subtle coloring. This has like the feeling that I want the Hulk cover to have. This is great. And if you haven't been paying attention to Mastrazzo's work, go check out this past year's Vampirella covers from him. He's got a great visceral feel to his art, and I'm really, really digging it. And not a lot of people are talking about him, and I think they should be.
This is A work for me. It's not A+ for two reasons. The stupid trade dress again for Hulk. I hate that fucking trade dress for Hulk. It's so cartoony, never blends in well with this kind of art. That's why good thing you get a Virgin, right?
Yeah.
The other thing that throws me off about the actual design of the Hulk is his face. It's looks like he aged a lot. Is that me, or it's like almost like old man Hulk?
It's scarred, battle damaged Hulk.
Nah, it looks like he's in his like late 50s. That's what he looks like. But it's awesome. The coloring, the you can see the brush strokes, all that. The execution is brilliant. The coloring is brilliant. The art, the line work, all that. But it's just that I nitpick the face a little bit. But get rid of that stupid trade dress.
I'm with Mark. I'm with Mike. I dig it. I like this cover a lot. I like how the Hulk has so much emotion. Like it's like he's gonna beat the crap out of somebody. I mean, it's so aggressive. And to use your word, Mike, it's very visceral. Also, you know what? To counter your point, Big Rob, the Hulk trade dress, it's a lot better than that incentive that we saw last week.
Way better.
I mean, at least this one, it's not clean. It looks like it's breaking up, which goes with the art. Like he's gonna punch somebody, and I mean, it looks like it's the trade dress is falling apart. I mean, you're right. It's still a little cartoony. It shouldn't be so prominent. But I mean, it works a little bit here. Do I prefer the Virgin cover better? Yes. But yeah, and I don't feel like he's old. I really don't. I just feel that, he's just pissed. I mean, if you've ever seen your face in the mirror when you're pissed,
that's when I see my age. I see all the fucking wrinkles.
Everything got the crinkles.
Yeah,
everything got the crinkles.
Middle-aged Hulk,
I think it's great.
I would assume that the artists never get to do their own versions of the trade dress. I bet Mastrazzo looked at this and went, "Ugh, I don't like the trade dress either because it wouldn't be the way I would do it." because there would be a more muted color palette. There would be a little bit more of a finished feel to it.
Yeah.
Especially when you compare it to some of the really great choices he made color wise. I love the reds and purples underneath the arm, like where the shadows would be. That's very, very realistic and great. And then the way the light hits across that far fist and then down the chest is really masterful. I mean, I think his stuff is really unsung right now. I really want to see him have a hot book. I really do, because I think he deserves it.
And then we have Frankie's Comics Golden Apple exclusive for Spider or Gwenverse by Ivan Tao. You know what? Let's hold off on Mike. Big Rob, what are your thoughts?
Everything is great for one thing, the face. It's that Botox issue again. I swear she's getting Botox. She got Botox on her face, on her cheeks, on her lips. It's too clean. And I don't like the pale skin. It's like, is she wearing kind of white powder, or she has to have some sort of sun. She's out there all day in the high rises. The sun's hitting her right in the face. She had to have a little bit of tan on there.
But she's wearing a mask, right? I mean, you've seen her costume. You know she's wearing a mask.
It almost looks like a fake face, but yeah, the body, the background, the bird, everything, the lighting, the colors, it's really good, well done. It's just the face. I get it. I understand. It's not, the face is definitely not for me, but everything else is perfect. So people will enjoy this book for sure.
I am one of them. I love it. I really love it. I like the angle on it. There's some really hip elements: the shoes, the phone, the headphones, the motion, and again fluidity to it. There's great again figural understanding or anatomical understanding, the arm muscles and the way they would be flexing with her hand down like that. Really beautiful lines. I like the face. I really do like the face. I love the hair. The background's got a lot of great detail to it. This is a really beautiful piece to me. This is one of my favorite Gwen covers in a long time, I gotta say. There's also really great paint technique going on here. Little shadows and light hits like under her butt cheek there, that string of light that's sort of glinting off that. Again, laugh all you want, but that's one of those elements that a lot of artists would skip and pretend wasn't there, so they didn't have to do it. Shadows that are down there on the building again would be skipped, and there's just a lot of great attention to the way this would happen in real life. And so while there's a lot of comic elements to her, there's a lot of very realistic elements to just the way the light hits in that crook of her arm there, that bright glint, essentially the central focus of the cover. Man, I really, really like it.
You know what? It's on sale this on Saturday, I believe.
I want one. This is one I might buy this. I really like this, and I don't buy store exclusive very often, but I might buy this.
And just FYI, I will be buying this as well. I do dig it. Here's the thing with me, like I agree, Big Rob, with Ivan Tao's faces. I mean, for whatever reason, a lot of his faces have that pouty lip thing going. But this one, I think this one is just right. If you've seen all his other ones, you'll notice that the face, for whatever reason, I mean, and it maybe it's his style, but it's very pouty. This one, I feel like it's perfect. And to Mike's point, I mean, everything about the body, I mean, it's perfect. I mean, you can tell that this person is like part of the spider family, right? Because they're very lean and they're not muscular, and you can tell by the art that she's ready to do a backflip. She's very athletic. The backgrounds, I love the background as well. I love how the pigeons are flying. Yeah, I'm buying it this weekend.
I just want a little more pigmentation on her face. I think that would have sold me 100% on it. To me, it's like 95% is just that little pigmentation on the face. It looks, I don't know. It's just I'm nitpicking, but I would appreciate that a little more with that.
Okay. All right, and then moving on to our last edition. And this is from our friends at Bird City Comics. It is from Carla Cohen. It's Draculina #2, and it's limited edition of 500. And as soon as the ladies of Nearing Nerdvana premiered this on their channel, I fell in love with it, and I immediately purchased it. I love this cover, and I mean, for me, Carla Cohen can do no wrong. I'm a huge fan.
I am also, and I agree. That's a perfect way to put it. I have run out of superlatives for Carla Cohen's work. Uh, I mean, come on. This thing is just absolutely astounding. It's gorgeous in all of its horror. Man, just from that looks like it's blood. The skin tone, the teeth,
Yes.
everything. It crushes. It crushes. I can't say enough good things about this and basically everything she touches. So, yeah. Boom.
Yeah, to me, this is a good example of a person, an image where it's a very light skin, like the last cover, but you can definitely see the pigmentation in her skin. It does come out a lot more than the last cover, and that to me makes it more attractive. It's perfect. It's an A+. If you want to criticize anything, maybe the background, but that's just choice, really. It's great. The line wherever it's just, dude, wait, there's nothing wrong with this. This is perfect. 500 copies. What issue is this?
Draculina #2.
Yep.
And I already bought mine. And for you viewers out there, we might have a surprise from you for watching. We'll figure it out. But again, it's a huge thank you to Bird City Comics. Definitely go check them out. They're doing great things. Have tons of exclusives. And this is just one, which is amazing.
Yeah, it's great. Perfect.
All right. And then moving on to Mr. Morello. Mike, what do you got going on?
All right. Cover fire as always every week, which is the non-incentives and non-store exclusives for the week. So basically A and B covers, my favorites. Basically a 1, 2, 3 ranking with a couple of extras just to keep your eye out for. It's a fun article if you want to just sort of stock up on info before you head into your LCS for the week. Mine, along with other articles from the site, are probably the way to go between me and Indie Spotlight and Comic Book Day releases from Chris and the Wednesday one from Adam. You got a lot of great resources over there on CBSI to check out. And then cover tunes, as always. I really kind of threw a curveball last week with romance covers from the Bronze Age and Silver Age that I assume a lot of my readers hated. But I go in whatever direction the spirit moves me. This is very much my comic book soundtrack, and I go in a lot of weird directions. Sometimes I'm sort of in the mainstream, and sometimes I'm way off, way off on the edges. So, not sure what I'm doing this week. I'll see what the spirit moves me over the weekend before I write it. But yeah, those are my 2 articles over there, and there's plenty of great content on the site. So check it out.
Yeah, for sure. I love it. I love the articles. I think they're fun. They're great. A lot of information. I would love to see cover tunes where you highlight either artists you don't like or covers you don't like, but people are like, wow.
Okay.
I don't think you've done something like that
I
before.
have not done that. No, because it's hard to talk about those, right? So it's hard to be subjective about. Yeah, okay. I like that.
But
That's
it
a
can be like,
challenge.
hey, I don't get why this cover is, being well received.
You know what I
This
love
is
about
what,
that?
and just kind of, I mean, it'd be something that would be different. Because you talk about covers that, hey, this is the covers that I like. But you don't go into, your cover fire, you do. The cover fire is just like, oh my God, I can't believe this.
Right.
Don't waste your money. Again, tons of great information. But for cover tunes, it's always stuff that you like.
You're right.
Let's see this.
You know what I love
What's the
about that
script?
idea specifically is that I really love when people chime in the comment section, and that would be a really great vehicle for discussion. I think discussion's great. I love the chat. I love to respond. I respond to almost everybody unless it's a redundant comment. I will respond to your comment in the chats on both of these, and I'm gonna probably ask the readers, why do you like these covers? And I would love to see what the responses are on those. That's fun. I like that idea. That's great. I might not do it this coming week, but in the future, that's a great idea. I'm going to put that in the old memory bank. That's cool. I like it.
To me, that sounds like a whole other great article you could do. Like a third article, just covers you don't like.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Covers I don't like.
I could call it dumpster fire.
or you can just go with Big Rob and just say trash.
Yeah.
Cover trash.
Cover trash. But again, one man's trash is another man's treasure, right?
That's right. So, that's right.
Yeah. Not to be cliche, but it's really the truth, especially when it comes to art, especially comic art.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Well, thanks a lot, Mike. And then for us, we have a number of upcoming shows. We have Big Rob. Take it away.
Sure. Next Thursday, I forget what number that would be. I believe that's like March 3rd. Or second, one of them days. Mundo Mail Call with Team Nerd Podcast. And our special guest is Near Mint Sundays. He is the gentleman that will be setting up our show, which we'll talk, our comic books show, sale trade show in Anaheim. We'll talk about in a minute. But he'll be our guest for Mundo Mail Call next Thursday at 7 p.m. And we'll present our mail call for that week and our goodies and all that stuff. It's usually a really fun show. And definitely join us 7 p.m. on Thursdays.
All right. Thanks, Big Rob. And then just in case you guys don't know, we are going to be moving channels. So we are going to be still on YouTube, same content, different channel, starting March 1st. So March 1st, all of our new shows will be premiering on that new channel. So it's over there in the comments. So definitely click and subscribe. And don't forget to hit that notification button so you get all the new content. And then, Big Rob, you were just talking about Near Mint Sundays.
Yeah, that's right.
Do you want to talk about it again on March 6th?
Yeah, that's going to be our guest on Thursday for Mail Call. So it's Near Mint Sundays comic book buy and sell trade show March 6th of this year. And it'll be from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Brookhurst Community Center, which is in Anaheim, California, a few miles away from good old Disneyland. So stop on by. We have over 50 comic book collectors and vendors. They'll be selling their goodies to the public. It's a free admittance. There's no charge to get into this venue. It should be tons of fun. I'll be there. Alonso will be there as well, and a bunch of the other Team Nerd podcasts and people from the community. And stop on by, and maybe you'll find some good books there for yourself.
All right. Thanks, Big Rob. All right. And that does it for our show today. So thank you again, Mike, for spending your evening with us. Really appreciate it. Same with you, Big Rob. And Rob, do you want to take us out?
Damn. All right. If you want to do it right. Clay, what you like, but that's our regular scene. What's our
Cover Lovers for Life?
Cover Lovers for Life. There you go.
All right, guys. Thank you. And God bless. Have a great rest of the week.
Thank you.